Hello students, welcome to video lecture on session number 43. In this session, we will be looking into Shakespeare's play King Lear, and we will be trying to understand the various characters in the play. Regarding the historical context, the story of King Lear originated 400 years before Shakespeare wrote this particular version. Lear was a British king. So, if we look into British mythology, there is a reference that King Lear here refers to a person named Geoffrey of Monmouth who lived in 12th century, in a period 1137. And many scholars they believe that the most important source for this particular play was taken from Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland, which were written in the year 1587. Here I have given certain key facts about this play, King Lear. The full title is The Tragedy of King Lear. It was written in the year 1605 in England. It was first published in 1608 and later in 1623 in the first folio. The literary period is known as the Renaissance. It belongs to the genre of tragedy, and the setting is England in pre-Christian times. And you have a protagonist, that is the King Lear, and antagonists Regan, Goneril, and Edmund. You will be knowing about them when we look into the characters. And the subplot of this play is taken from Sidney's Arcadia. So let's try to introduce or to get familiar with the major characters of the play in King Lear. The first important character, the protagonist, King Lear. So King Lear is an aging king of Britain and the protagonist of the play. And regarding King Lear, he is a person who enjoyed absolute power and he is used to being flattered by others, and he does not respond well to being contradicted or challenged by others. So here what you can see, the theme of hubris, where the excess pride of a person which would lead to his downfall. The next important character is Cordelia. This is a very significant character. Cordelia is Lear's youngest daughter, and what happens in the play that she is disowned by her father because she refuses to flatter him. And Cordelia is a person who is held in extremely high regard by all of the good characters in the play because she represents the quality of virtue throughout the play. So the King of France marries Cordelia for her virtue alone. The next character is Goneril. Goneril is King Lear's eldest daughter who is ruthless, and she is the wife of Duke of Albany, and she is jealous, treacherous, and immoral. And the next one is Regan, Lear's middle daughter, the second daughter, and she is the wife of Duke of Cornwall, and she is also ruthless as Goneril and aggressive. These two are very significant, Goneril and Regan. The conspiracy done by these two would further lead to the tragedy of King Lear. The next important character is Gloucester. He is a nobleman and he is very much loyal to King Lear, and his rank is that of an earl who is below that of duke. The first thing we learn about Gloucester is that he is adulterous and he is having a bastard son whose name is Edmund. The next character is Edgar. Edgar is Gloucester's elder son and he is a legitimate son. Edgar, throughout the play, he performs different roles, starting as a fool, then as a mad beggar, and then impersonates to aid Lear's Gloucester. And then comes Edmund. Edmund is an illegitimate son and younger son of Gloucester, and Edmund represents his status as a bastard son and schemes to usurp Gloucester's title and possession from England. So the next one is Kent. He is a nobleman of the same rank as Gloucester who is loyal to King Lear, and Kent spends most of his, most throughout the play, he is disguised as a peasant and he calls himself as Caius. Then is Duke of Albany. He is husband of Lear's daughter Goneril. Albany is good at heart and eventually he denounces and opposes cruelty of Goneril, Regan and Cornwall when he comes to know about the conspiracy done by these three to go against King Lear. Then Cornwall is the husband of Lear's daughter Regan. Unlike Albany, Cornwall is different. He is domineering, cruel, and violent. Then comes the fool. This is also a very significant character. He is a Lear's jester whose task is to amuse King Lear, who uses double tongue and he seemingly sings frivolous songs to give Lear important advice throughout the play. Whenever the fool feels that the Lear is committing some mistake, it is through these songs he reminds him that he is making a mistake or he tries to give him some advice. Oswald is the steward or a chief servant at Goneril's house, and Oswald obeys his mistress, that is Goneril's commands, and helps her in her conspiracy. Then comes King of France. As we already know, he marries Cordelia for her virtue only, and he is honored and willing to support Cordelia's efforts to rescue her father in the later part of the play. Then comes Duke of Burgundy, who was a suitor for Cordelia in the beginning of the play, but he rejects Cordelia when he discovers that Cordelia is not given any share in the kingdom by King Lear and it will not bring him any dowry, so he rejects Cordelia. Then there are some minor characters. Curran, who is a Gloucester's servant. Then there was an old man who was a tenant of Gloucester. Then there are servants of Cornwall. And then there is a doctor who was an attendant to Cordelia. So at the end of this session, we have multiple choice questions. Go through the questions and try to answer them. Thank you.